Alrighty, you're welcome. And yes, it is Tuesday Live. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm called effortlessly your number one parent coach. I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Today, it's Tuesday Live again, and the 5 skills you need as an intentional parent. Do you really know that as an intentional parent, you need some skills to be able to thrive? I'm going to be sharing with you. But before I start, yes, you heard about the TIP Summit United Kingdom. It was amazing. The very first TIP Summit outside of Nigeria was held in United Kingdom in Birmingham, and it was amazing. Amazing weekend, all filled with awesome people. Shout out to you, UK Yarders, again and again. And did I tell you that next year we're going to come and we're going to be in Zambia? We're coming back to the UK again, and we will be in Canada. Watch for it, wait for it, and we will start to roll out all of the summits that we have for 2025. Don't miss it. But it was amazing. Let me see your comment in the comment section if you were there at the TIP Summit United Kingdom. I had amazing time. You're wondering, you're not back to your office? No, I'm not. Before you tell me, oh, coach, you can see that you're not back yet. I am not back yet. I will be back by next Tuesday. All right, Yadas, are you in the building? Shout out to you guys. You guys are the real MVPs. So today, let's go back to the real conversation of the day. 5 skills you need as an intentional parent. I am particularly about skills. Many times you find out that people struggle because they are unskilled. So we've been doing the My Intentional Parenting Journey for the past how many days now? We started on the 1st of September and we've been on it. We're going to be on it till the end of November. So the Inner Circle programs takes off on the 1st of December for 2025 cohort. We start the Inner Circle every 1st of December every year. If you don't get in, right, by the 1st of December of this year, you will not get in again till next year. It is a one-time admission. You're wondering, why do they take people only once? Yes, it's a school. If you're going to come to a school, admission runs only once. If you miss it this year, you will need to wait for next year. So if you haven't booked a slot to be in the Inner Circle, this is your queue. Go now, rush now. There is there's something scrolling right under the stream. You're going to say it, all right? Oh, okay, thank you, team. Of course, there is the details right on my screen. Pay and get into the Inner Circle. Yes, it's a paid program, but one of the most amazing things that can happen to you on your journey as a parent. Now, there are skills that you need to be able to actually become an intentional parent. So many times people will say, oh, I tried being an intentional parent. I have been, working on being an intentional parent and all of that. It's been something that many times you would look at and say, oh, I'm struggling. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how it is that this is going to be for us and all of the things, and you just find out that you're struggling. So you now submit. Intentional parenting is not for everybody. Intentional parenting is not a good thing. Intentional parenting is not, it doesn't work. Intentional parenting is not, and all of the things that we say. But it's because you lack the skills to be able to deliver as an intentional parent. So number one skill you need is communication skills. I tell you why. We grew up in a system where communication is a real problem. Actively listening to your child's feeling, their perspective, their needs, while expressing your own with understanding is a thing. Our parents, we are either coming from a place of toxic communication, right? Aggressive, or we're coming from a place of let us just let's not say anything, right? So in my book, Solving Family Problems Through Effective Communication, I actually shared about how you can actually begin to groom yourself to become an effective communicator. I find that the reason we yell is not because we want to yell, it's not because the child is annoying us, it's because we lack communication skills. And trust me, that's the truth. Many times we don't want to agree that that's the truth, but it is what it is. We lack communication skills, we struggle with it, so we cannot really communicate. So sometimes we even confront. I've heard my husband, the governor, Ologe, say a lot in marriage counseling. You guys are confronting each other. You are not having conversations. So you must be able to move from confrontations to conversations. But unfortunately, we were taught confrontations, and I'm not exempted because I grew up with a father who was a yeller. My mom wasn't. I didn't hear my mom yell. But it's interesting that, of course, we pick the bad behaviors very well. So we become confrontational, or sometimes we become silent. So silence is also not a great way of communication, really. Neither is aggression, shouting all over a great way. So one of the things that you want to learn as an intentional parent is to learn how to communicate, when to communicate. And what's the other last one that my husband says? And where to communicate. Yes. And what to communicate. Yes. I went to find Expo while you're there. So I had to look this way to get the Expo for you. So I hear him talk about, he has a book called The Three Rivers of Marriage. And he says that the three problems in marriage is communication, finance, and sex. And that the biggest of all the problems is communication. If you're having issues in sex, it's because communication is faulty. If you're having issues in finance, it's because communication is faulty. And I like to say, I like to submit that if you're having issues in your parenting, is because communication is also faulty. So you need to begin to ask yourself, am I having a faulty communication line? Is this something that I can, look at? Is this something that I can do? Is this something that can happen? Do I need to learn? What exactly do I need to learn? So this is something that you need to begin to, ask yourself. What are the things that we need to do differently? What are the things that I need to begin to learn? What are the things that I need to actually deal with in different areas of, my parenting? And one of it is communication. So you need to begin to practice what I call reflective listening. Is a thing, practice acknowledging emotion. So when you get into the inner circle, when you get into the academy, the first thing that we teach you is how to practice emotional intelligence, how to become emotionally intelligent. Most of us communicate without emotional intelligence. That's also a thing. That's also a negative on us. So you need to begin to practice it. You need to begin to, look at it differently. You need to communicate differently. Most of your problem is not that your parenting is faulty. No, it's because you don't know how to communicate. That's the problem. Quote me anywhere. And all this, I'm yelling, is because the child is not listening. It's not true. You're yelling because you have a problem with communication. So yes, I've been there. That's why I can actually accuse you, Abby. So when you have been there, done that, like they say. So of course, that's why I can come out today and say, you're yelling is because of lack of communication, lack of empathy, lack of being able to do things, well. Number 2 is disciplinary skills, but hold it. I know that a lot of us want to actually come to a place where we're telling ourselves, hey, I'm a very disciplined person. My parents, raised us to be very disciplined. Oh, the way we talk about discipline, we actually submit to ourselves that discipline. Oh, I am disciplined. I know what I'm doing and all of that and all of that. Most times, what we call discipline is aggression. It's the same thing. We're not disciplined. So you get into the inner circle. You hear me say things like I do 1,000 squats a day. I go to the gym. I don't need anybody to encourage me to say, oh, stay fit, eat healthy. I don't need all those encouragement. But that's because over the years, I've actually built myself to be able to be disciplined. Now, discipline is not yelling. Discipline is not shouting. Discipline is not screaming. Discipline is not silent treatment. Discipline is actually structures and skills. So most times you want to ask yourself, am I really disciplined? Am I really a disciplined person? Do I really have the skills of discipline? And you find out that most times, no, you don't. Yes, I can see the comment section buzzing, and so I explained to you what discipline. Our discipline is, anytime that we say, oh, our parents disciplined us, are very disciplined. What we actually want to say is that our parents are very aggressive. They're not the same thing. When you do something, I was raised by very disciplined parents. All right. I was raised by very disciplined parents, and these disciplined parents are just, a whole lot. They are better, they are this and all. So what we really define as discipline is actually different from what discipline should really be. So what is discipline? Discipline is, and that's why we lack consistency, because we're in that place where we just think, discipline is my parents can give bath balls, and that's discipline. That's actually not discipline. That's actually just you being aggressive. We don't like to hear these things, but it's true. Why is it that you're so disciplined, but yet when you say pick up a book and read, you can't finish it. Ta-da. So that means your discipline, they reach that kind side, right? Of course, inner cycle parents said I cannot blow broken, but I can. Don't mind them. I know how to speak it. I'm trying, if you want to put it like that. So of course, the skill of discipline means that you can create boundaries, you can, be able to actually structure a home. Most times our home is so disorganized, not because or our children just, are doing everything, not because children are not disciplined. We even say these children are not disciplined. No, discipline is not a child's problem, it's a parent's problem, because discipline is systems, it's in the structures you create, it's in the schedules, it's also in the skills that you build as a person. So discipline is not something that you just, you just want to just wake up and just say, oh, I'm just, aggressive. So you're going to be an intentional parent. Discipline is a core part of intentional parenting. Now, anytime we talk about intentional parenting, many people actually tell me, oh, I don't want to do intentional parenting because my children are going to not be disciplined. Because I think that when we say don't hit the child, we mean that you should just let the child, just watch the child. But unfortunately, I tell you something for free. I have seen that people who wield canes, their children are not very disciplined. Yeah, you heard me right. Because you are focused on aggression without actually teaching the child what exactly to do. These are the same parents when you say, do you know that your 4-year-old could cook? They look at you like, that's child abuse. What is child abuse inside? The child being able to actually do things for themselves. But yet, we are the same people that will slap a child. That's not the one that's child abuse. Oh. I see you. That's not the one that is child abuse. Oh. Child abuse is that one that, you tell the child to start taking responsibility. Now we have, children who are able to, they are very independent. That's why we raise children who are very dependent on us. What is being disciplined? Discipline is being independent. That's what it is. I have a book called Raising the Independent Thinking Child. The independent thinking child is one of the best things that can happen to you. But so when we talk about discipline, a lot of parents actually say to us, oh, discipline is the child. I don't want to do intentional parenting. You guys say don't yell, don't beat. So what are we going to do? It's because you don't understand what discipline is. It was Miles Moron that said when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So I have a book called Discipline is not an Emergency, the discipline that works, connect to correct, from yelling to calm. All of these books are talking about discipline. And when you read them, you will see that there's a lot of gap. It's just like when I talk about verbal correction. I will say verbal correction is a tool in discipline, but it's not talking. Talking is different from verbal correction. But most of the times, what we do is talking. So discipline goes beyond I'm just talking, I'm just doing things. If you have to be there for your children to perform or for your children to do anything, trust me, that is not discipline. That's not discipline. Discipline is not a child's problem. Discipline is a parent's problem. So if you are still that parent who is there beating a child, wielding cane, shouting everywhere, you're not disciplined, man. You're actually one of the most indisciplined person. Yes, you are. Sir, if you have to yell and you're screaming everywhere, shouting at the house, hello, you're not disciplined. You're just aggressive. And that's not discipline. And your child is not going to really learn anything by you just being all over the place and screaming and shouting and all of the things that we do. It is beyond that. The truth of the matter is that discipline is what teaches responsibility. Consistency, that's another part of it. Most of us are very unpredictable, we're very inconsistent. We don't, our children do not know what to expect from us. And then we say things like, my children don't even know what I will do next. I keep saying it, that unpredictability is the enemy of parenting, right? So consistency is what teaches responsibility, and it helps your children understand the importance of action and consequences. If your child cannot understand the importance of action and consequences, you haven't really taught discipline at all. So the first place discipline will start from is you. So the first thing is, I want to ask you, if you cannot finish that book you've been holding, you're not disciplined. If you cannot set up a diet and then you say, oh, I'm going to follow this, I'm going to drop this weight, you're not disciplined. If you cannot consistently build yourself, build muscles, build whatever it is, you're not disciplined. If you can't consistently give yourself targets and meet them, you're not disciplined. And one of the reasons people actually struggle with intentional parenting is because discipline as a core is something we didn't learn. We didn't really learn it. And that's why it's a problem. Don't forget that in the inner circle, one of the things that we learn is that discipline is something that you actually do for yourself first. So I usually say that parenting is about you. That's my greatest quote in Connect to Correct. Parenting is about you. When people hear it, they're like, it's about me. But it's called parenting, not childing. So if it's not childing, then it is. Parenting is parenting. That's why you are the parent. You are not childing. You are parenting. So it's you. We're talking about you. Everything is about you. You need to actually begin to now redefine what you mean, what discipline should mean. If you wake up in the morning and you need to yell every morning before your children go to school and everywhere is chaotic, hey, you have a very indisciplined system in your home. Is it getting hotter in here? Can you feel the fire? Oh yeah, send the fire emojis right now. And if you have not booked to get the book, you remember that you have not pre-ordered the book, 5 of my books. All right, you want to do that now. Trust me, today we just have 48 hours and pre-order ends. So if you have not pre-ordered already, you are on your own. Just go run pre-order now. All right, those books are available right now. But after pre-order, instead of paying 6,000 naira per each of the book, you get to pay 8,000 naira. Yes, pre-order, and I can't even wait for the pre-order to end already, because the 6,000 naira, it's like you're just buying the book and there's really nothing out of it. So we want it to end by all means. We can't wait. We want so if you miss it on the launch date, you get to pay 8,000 naira for each of the books. Here are the books, all right, so that you know what it is that we're talking about. They are my latest 5 books that is available for pre-order. Launch date is on the 1st of November. 10,000 copies of these books pre-ordered already. Have you been able to pre-order my latest books? Raising the boy you don't need to bail out, raising the girl with sense, raising the trophy child is congratulations, celebrations, and challenges, the parenting advantage, and sex educate your child like a pro, volume 4. These are all my latest books, and for 28,000 naira, you can get all of this bundle instead of paying a 40,000 naira, a whooping 12,000 naira discount. If you're buying individual copies, you would pre-order them at 6,000 naira each copy. You'll still be spending or saving some 2,000 naira to it. Join us now to be part of the people who are revolutionizing parenting. These books will save your life. These books will save your life. You heard that right. Yes. And yes, if you haven't pre-ordered your book, you want to do that now. The details are on my screen. It's 28,000 naira for 5 of the books. Yes, you heard me right. And that's the cheapest that you can get it. Each of those books is like a 200 and something page book. It's full of practicality. I like the way that I write. Give it to me. Give me my flowers. I love the way I write. When I read my own books, it gets me excited. I was reading. And so when inner circle parents are reading books, I join in the book reading, and I also, learn through practice and all of that. That's how I also stay accountable to my own process. And, I'm reading the book, Raising the Independent Thinking Child. Amazing read. Oh, amazing read. If you haven't read that book, you are on a long thing. So, we're reading correctly. I was reading through the review. I didn't even have time to make comments. I read through the review yesterday, and and I realized that it's one book that you pick and you are able to practicalize there and then. That's how raising the boy with that you don't need to bail out is. There's something you need to do now. That's how raising the girl with sense is. That's how the parenting advantage. In fact, in the parenting advantage, there are reflective questions at the back where you are actually able to say, where am I now? Am I an advantage? Am I a disadvantage? In Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro Volume 4, there are worksheets inside. And it's so interesting. In fact, newsflash, all the book comes with a workbook. The workbook are only going to be available right on Amazon, right? We're going to have, the workbooks that come with it for you to actually be able to deal with all of that, workbooks and the rest of them, for the things that you really need to do. So that workbook actually just gets you. So everybody who pre-order gets an e-copy of the workbook. And of course, that is one thing that you get when you actually read my books. So you don't just read the book and you just have books and and you don't know what to do or how to do it, and and all of that. So let's go on. Number three skill that you need. Adaptability and flexibility. That's the skill that helps you to stay open to changes and adjust your parenting style based on your child's unique need, your child's growth, and your changing circumstances. The dynamics of your parents, of your family is a big deal when it comes to actually changing. Most times you find out that a lot of us actually we're not flexible enough. That's why you hear people say, oh, my children are all grown. Do I really want to be learning intentional parenting? What's it intentional parenting about? It's because we don't have the adaptability skill. And when it comes to intentional parenting, adaptability is a key factor. I was looking at the conversation that one of the grandmothers in the inner circle actually had. I'm going to play that video for you so that you can see how adaptability can actually play a role. One thing is certain: when you understand intentional parenting and understand the adaptability that comes with it, it helps you to actually begin to do parenting differently. So you're a grandmother, you know what to do. Your children are becoming toddlers, you know what to do. Your children are becoming teenagers, you know what to do. There's this thing, because every child is different, but every child has a blueprint. So they say parenting has no manual. It's not true. Every child actually has a manual, but every child comes with a manual. The problem is, do you really have the manual? So whether you are parenting intentionally or unintentionally, you actually following a manual. It's just that you don't know it. Let's listen to Grandma Dinah Smith for a while so that you understand what I mean when it comes to adaptability, and then we go on to the conversations as well.
Hi, my name is Diane Smith, and I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I joined the Intentional Parent Academy in December of 2021. I'm sure you're wondering, why would a grandmother join a parenting academy at this point in her life? Well, I wanted to make generational impact, and I want to get it right. I understand that yesterday's home run cannot win today's game. And if I needed to make that impact, I had to be on the cutting edge. So to get on the cutting edge, I joined the Intentional Parent Academy. Parents, I got so much more than I thought I would have gotten. The daily activities, the weekly and the monthly webinars, the book reviews. We learned so much. I even understood much more the importance of connecting before I correct. I understood even more the discipline that would work with this generation. I understood even more how to raise an independent thinking child. We got so many tools, so many strategies to help us along our journey. So parents, I want to encourage you, if you have not yet joined the 2025 cohort, please take it from this grandmother. Join the academy. It is going to help you on your parenting journey. Thank you.
Alrighty. So yes, it is going to help you on your parenting journey. And of course, I'm talking about adaptability. That's what Grandma, Dinah Smith is talking about. Grandma Dinah Smith is talking about all of that, all of that thing that you need: the adaptability, the flexibility, adapting your approach based on your personality, your interest, your developmental process, ensuring that your methods are effective and responsive, and all of the things that you need. Yes, that's what you actually really do need. So yes, the next skill that you need is intentional goal setting and planning. That's one of the skills that you need as an as an intentional parent. I just said inner circle parent. An inner circle parent is an intentional parent. We are very intentional, extremely intentional. I cannot even wait to have you in the yard. If you haven't registered yet, this is your cue to be in the yard. Trust me, in the yard, like we say it in the inner circle, right? One thing that is very key and very important to the things that we do is that skills. You need to set clear goals, make plans that will align with your family values and all of that. But the first thing to do is to even set a goal. Part of that goal is to set, a value system. You must be able to know how to plan. Without planning, you get overwhelmed as an intentional parent. Without planning, you don't even know where to go and how to go about it. Without planning, without goal setting, because intentional parenting is about reaching goals. It's about reaching, getting to where it is that you're supposed to get to. It's about doing things differently. It's about, ensuring that things are actually done in a way that they should do. And that's one thing that the intentional parenting, journey does for you. Have you been listening to the intentional parenting journey of the others? If you have not been listening, this is one thing that you need to actually begin to listen to, right? Go to our YouTube channel. You will find it, My Intentional Parenting Journey. And when you continue to chronicle, down, you will see all of the things, how intentional goal setting is a thing for every single, parent, and what it is that they do as they are going through. Planning includes that you are actually going to learn how to manage your time. In the inner circle, we teach a course called time and energy management. When you get into the inner circle, you actually learn about all of the skills. That's a beautiful thing. So you cannot just sit down, on your own and just get it, all done, or get it over and done with, like we say. You actually would need to do something, learn how to do it so that you can deliver on it. Most of us don't know what to do. We don't know how to deliver on it. That's one of the biggest problems that we have. And that's a very key aspect of our journey, because intentional goal setting means that you set clear goals, you make plans that align with your family values. So the first thing you do when you come into the inner circle is I will teach you how to create family values. We teach you how to create family values, teach you how to create it on Canva, teach you how to print it, paste it. It must be in your home. It must be visible. People must be able to say, oh, wow, is this what your home is about? Your children must be able to, buy into your home system. And that's what it is about. So that's the first thing that you do. So the first thing, if you're a yada in waiting, let me see your comment in the comment section. You are a yada in waiting. Get ready. You will create family values, create media plan, frame it, and make it a law in your home. That's part of our journey. We are very planned people. We're very structured people. Intentional parenting makes you structured, makes you, go on it in a certain journey. We have the structures. We have, the devotionals. In fact, I shared a devotional this year with the others. It's been one of the sweetest devotionals they had access to. So we created, or we're almost done with it. Created the 12 plan devotional year, where you can actually use with your children, the whole of the 12 months, right? So each month have different, topic. They said depending on what it is that your theme of your year is. So you can actually have that theme, and then you use the devotional, and then you walk through it. It's going to be a 12 in one bundle. We're going to have it available to you if you want to get it. It's an e-copy. I have mine. In fact, one of the devotional, the one that we actually used, 30 days devotional of leadership, is right here. I have it on my tablet. We usually use it. In fact, it's so awesome. 30 days leadership devotional plan. I gave it out. Yes, you can say I gave it out to inner circle parents, and we used it. Very interesting, very colorful, very amazing. We still used it yesterday. In fact, my husband and I use it. Yup, that's what we use. So we use it, and parents have used it with their children. And I'm sure that I'm sure the others are here. If you've used that devotional, yes, I can see people in the comment section saying that they've used that devotional, and you're awesome. It's one of the most awesome, straightforward, no drama, no, and it's so reflective questions, awesome, and everything in it. So that's part of the planning. We plan everything. When you get into the Intentional Parent Academy, one of the things you see is planning structure, systems. We plan, everything is planned. The tools of the month is given to you at the beginning of the month. One of the things that you're going to see in the academy is structure. Our structure is structured. It's not somebody asked me, oh, are we going to, this inner circle thing? Is it, this WhatsApp group? Blah, blah, blah. I said, what? WhatsApp? What? You will just see yourself out of the window if you ever consider being in the inner circle as just, one of those WhatsApp groups that you have. Truth be told, this is very important that you actually be consistently doing what it is that you're supposed to do. And the only way to actually be consistent is to plan. The more you do not plan about your journey, the more you're not able to really get through with your journey. And today's conversation it's not just about just being there and all of that. This conversation is majorly about building those skills, building yourself to be able to deliver for your child. And this is something that is very important on your journey as a person. This is so key and very important. All right. One of the things that you also would need to learn, right, is in that planning is to learn reflective practice. That's what we call it. Reflective practice. The skill. Most of the problem that we have is that most of us do not reflect. We don't reflect on where we are. We don't reflect on what we have done. We don't even reflect about our day. So we just continue doing things the way we've been doing it. No reflection. No, nothing comes to mind. We just don't reflect. We just don't say it. We just don't even understand what that means. You need to regularly take time to evaluate your actions. That's one of the things that you learn in the inner circle. You evaluate your actions, you evaluate your decisions every day so that you can evolve the dynamics with your child, adjust your approach as is needed. Why does it even matter? Reflection is one of the things that helps you to stay glued, aligned to your parenting values, to learn from your challenges, to celebrate your success. It gives you insight into what's working, where do I need to adjust, what's not working, what else do I need to do. At the end of each day or even each week, we you learn how to assess specific interactions. Reflect on, conversations like, did I communicate effectively today? On your own. Did I respond to my child's needs appropriately today? What small successes can I, celebrate? If you're going to do it daily, one of the things I recommend is that you do daily reflections. Take 5 to 10 minutes before you sleep every night. Take note, journal. One of the things you learn in the inner circle is how to journal. You take time, take a moment, journal with your child, focus on what went well, the areas you want to improve. Take a monthly review. One of the things we do in the inner circle is the family meeting. Yes, family meeting is a thing. We sit down, craft a system where there's a meeting. Everybody is meeting, talking about, what it is, what has gone well, what has not gone well, and all of the things that needs to be done. So family meeting is another conversation altogether, right? So we have a family meeting too. Now, let me say this. Growing up, we all had family meetings. Our parents will come. It's like a judgment arena. Who understands what I'm talking about? They judge you from morning to night. You are judged, nailed, and all of that. And then sometimes family meeting is devotion, scripture, condemnation day. They will read to you how Sapphira and Ananias lied and died. They will read to you how, those things. That's not family meeting. We created a template in the academy that talks about how to have appropriate family meeting with your children. Don't go crucify your children in the name of family meeting. That's what we're talking about. So every month there's a family meeting in our system where you set out dedicated time to take a look at the big picture of your parenting goals. See how well it's meeting up. The time to adjust, the time to stay back on track, you know. And then this thing you teach your children, you encourage self-reflection in your children. When you model reflection, you encourage them to think about their actions. So one of the things that I wrote in the book, um, um, discipline is not an emergency, is that I said that when your child does something, instead of saying to the child, oh, go to a naughty corner, those things that we say naughty corner, what's that? We call it in my home, we say go and reflect. So we give you time to go and do some reflection. When you're done with your reflection, you come back. That's what we do in our own home. Go and reflect. Okay, this is what it is, no problem. Go and reflect and come back. And that gives you time to actually understand and think, what have I done? What has happened? When you build this as a regular habit, reflection, you strengthen your parenting approach. You align each decision with a long-term vision. You have your child's growth and development. You're actually looking at different aspects of your life, and you are actually being, able to actually look at a lot of things. So we have one more skill to go. Who is excited? Now, have you booked to join the inner circle? If you haven't booked to join the inner circle, this is your cue. The inner circle program is a program you do not want to miss. Don't miss it. The inner circle program will literally change your life. Trust me, I said so. And it is not a lie. The inner circle program will literally change your life, and it's something that you want to actually take as part of a journey, a key aspect of your journey always. One thing is key. One thing is important. The inner circle changes everything that you know, you've ever known, you've ever thought, or even that you were thinking. If you haven't registered yet, register now. All right. While we wait to come back again, I'm going to just take a short break, drink some water, get back while you listen to a parent talk about the inner circle and her journey in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Kemi Okigbenro and I live in Virginia, USA. I stumbled on TIP sometime during COVID on Facebook, and since then I have been following the page for helpful tips here and there. I'm one who believes in raising kids in a godly way with high moral standards. So finding TIP for me was like a win for me. And so I have been following the tips and the nuggets that Coach Wendy has been dropping here and there on our page. And knowing very well that my goal is to raise my kids effectively and intentionally, I began to seek more knowledge. And one of the things I found out was that the tips I've been getting here and there might not be enough to help me on this journey. So fast forward to 2021, by the nudging of the Holy Spirit, I joined the yard finally. I joined late anyways, but I joined the yard finally, and getting into the yard was a whole new game entirely. It opened my eyes to begin to see things that I had not known before. I began to unlearn and relearn some of the things I thought I knew before, and I can tell you that the resources that we get in the yard is top notch. It is top notch. It is one thing every parent needs to get and acquire as knowledge. Raising kids for me here in the diaspora is something that I told myself I had to be intentional about it. So joining the TIP for me was the best thing ever for me in the diaspora. So I want to encourage every one of us here who's on this platform, who's not a part of the yard. I want you to think about it. If you want to effectively parent your kids, if you want a community where you are accountable for the things that you do in raising your kids, if you want a community where you learn from other people's experiences so that you can also become a better parent, I tell you, this is one place to be. Everyone here is learning. We are all learning, and as we're learning, we're growing. So I encourage you to register for be a part of the TIP Inner Circle for next year's cohort. And I hope to see you there. And I want to say thank you to Coach Wendy for being a blessing to this generation. You are raising an army for God. And this is one thing I need you to know, that generations yet unborn will call you blessed, because you are blessing whom you are raising armies for Jesus. And thank you for what you do. Thank you to the admin team. Thank you for helping and supporting us on this journey. We are forever thankful. Thank you, Ma. God bless you.
And yes, if you have not joined the inner circle, this is your cue to join the inner circle. You're wondering, the inner circle is on the dashboard today because it's only 32 days to go, and the inner circle starts on the 1st of December. It's 100K per annum for each person. If you want to join with your spouse, you pay 170,000 naira. But trust me, you're not going to see this amount to pay next year, right? So better get it now. And of course, that would be your cue. This is a discounted rate because the inner circle fee actually have changed, right? But we left it at this discounted rate because we want to get in everybody to actually be part of us. We're talking about 5 skills you need as an intentional parent. It's not only 5 skills you need, though. This is just the skills that is required, just a few of them. There's so many skills that you need: executive functioning skills, this one skills, and all of that. We can't finish it today. So I'm going to share with you one last one: emotional regulation and resilience. Parenting can try you. It will try you. Who else agrees with me? This morning, somebody sent me a chat and said, my 4-year-old is trying me. I wanted to say, Auntie, you're just 4-year-old now. 4-year-old, who feels that way? You feel like, so the person said, my 4-year-old is making a mess of my parenting. I'm like, 4-year-old power, they have that kind of power. These children actually have a lot of power. Trust me when I say so. And it's very interesting to note that these 4-year-olds are powerful. Yeah. They are 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, very powerful people. But it will drain you if you do not know how to manage your emotions. That's why one key aspect of your parenting is to learn emotional management. You need to model calmness. You need to model resilience. You need to teach your children how to navigate and express their emotions constructively. Why does it matter? Children learn emotional responses from watching their parents. That's the truth. So if your child is throwing a tantrum, sometimes we are also throwing a tantrum. I call it adult tantrum. You see that thing that you do when your child falls on the floor, you just give them bars. That's you throwing a tantrum when you really look at it. So why does it matter? How do you need to begin to learn self-control. You need to begin to practice mindfulness, relaxation, calmly addressing conflict to demonstrate positive ways of handling stress. Most of us cannot handle stress because of the way that we are. You need to actually begin to look at those things. And this is something that you need to actually learn. Parenting is not assumed. You need to learn it. You need to learn it. I am particularly rooting for you, and I know that you will be in that space where learning becomes a core of your parenting. And trust me, parenting is a very key aspect of your journey. If you do not learn parenting, you're going to get frustrated. And parenting is a key aspect of it because it changes you. It does something to you. There's just something that it does to you. Please do not leave your parenting to chance. That's one thing that you do not want to do. Leaving your parenting to chance. Whatever, anywhere belle face. That's how we say it in the academy, right? Be in Nigeria. So don't be like that. Okay. I am particularly looking forward to having you right in the inner circle. And don't go anywhere. Don't forget that our books are available on Amazon. You can buy them anywhere, right? And our new books pre-order ends tomorrow. Don't say, oh, coach, I did not hear, I did not know, something happened. By tomorrow, the pre-order is gone, and we will not be able to actually give you whatever it is that it takes, right? So you will buy it for 8,000 each copy instead of the 6,000 that is going on now. So by tomorrow, pre-order ends. Today is what, 29th? Okay, that is it. Okay, so it has that you have 30th and 31st, 2 days. 30th and 31st. If you don't pre-order now, pre-order will be gone. So pre-order now. The details are on my screen for you to pre-order. Do not forget that you need books these books to actually learn more. All right. So here are the details of the books you want to actually. 10,000 copies of these books pre-ordered already. Have you been able to pre-order my latest books? Raising the boy you don't need to bail out. Raising the girl with sense. Raising the trophy child is congratulations, celebrations, and challenges. The parenting advantage and sex educate your child like a pro volume 4. These are all my latest books, and for 28,000 naira, you can get all of this bundle instead of paying a 40,000 naira, a whooping 12,000 naira discount. If you're buying individual copies, you would pre-order them at 6,000 naira each copy. You'll still be spending or saving some 2,000 naira to it. Join us now to be part of the people who are revolutionizing parenting. These books will save your life.
Welcome to the Intentional Parent Academy TIP 2024 Annual Conference tagged Raising Kings. I am Ben Wale from Rivers State, Nigeria. Before I met Coach Wendy Ologe, I have been into parenting, counseling at different levels, and my parenting style and method was just a mixture of many things put together, principles, ideas, processes mixed up together. Coming across Coach Wendy Ologe brought about the streamlining of my parenting processes, systems, and structures. My journey in the inner circle has been very, very eventful, transformative, rewarding, and knowledge gathering. Since I joined the inner circle in 2024, all the old practices and styles of parenting I was used to have been dropped with the new ideas I acquired in the inner circle. Today, my parenting style is pursued with a sense of intentionality, with a sense of humility, meekness, and civility. I see parenting as all about me and not the people I'm trying to parent. I have realized the importance of skill acquisition and also the power of connection in all I do with my children. Since 2024, I joined the inner circle. I have been transformed. My idea of parenting has changed. For you to parent effectively, you must be able to connect with the person you want to correct. Without knowledge, you cannot go far in the 21st century as far as parenting is concerned. By the time you join the inner circle, all the normalized parental approaches and styles you have known over the years will be rewired. Coach Wendy is going to revive your parenting skills, and he is going to make you understand what it means to be an effective and caring parent in the 21st century. In TIP, we create movements and not just programs and courses. That is why you have to be part of it. I have to especially thank Coach Wendy Ologe for the opportunity given to me to express myself in this TIP 2024. I am not taking it for granted. My advice to viewers, find it very, very necessary to be part of the Intentional Parent Academy program. They will not regret it. Thank you and God bless.
Okay. Our counsel to you is that do not stop at just being a visitor